Good day, everybody. This is Craig Ferguson. And yesterday I was doing some research in math, looking at the string theory, the monstrous group string theory, the J function, and how those interconnect, those connections between them. And they kept going back to or addressing the issue of dimensions. And so as I was doing my research, I believe the Lord began to deal with me. And so I'm going to share what I got yesterday. I'm hoping that someone that is deeply involved in mathematics or physics can help me out maybe with some of the terminology that around what I'm about to share. And this is actually a basic issue on dimensions. You know, we have the three dimensions, right? We can go backwards and forwards. That's one dimension. We can go up and down. That's two dimensions. We can go left and right as a third dimension. And while I have heard different terms on the fourth dimension, but this one, this one was interesting. It was more like an umbrella, and I know that there is an umbrella. The word umbrella is actually used also in math, but it was like there was around the three dimensions that we tend to operate in the physical space. There is this. We are encompassed by something like an umbrella. And this umbrella is actually tied in the scriptures to a hoopah. And in the hoopah, the hoopah is where the husband and wife would get married. They're under the hoopah in traditional Jewish weddings. But that hoopah is also tied to the marriage covenant that has 4 stages that they go through before they get to under the hoopah. And so it was like God was dealing with me about our covering. The hoopah is like a ark that's over you, right? And what I saw yesterday, it was like the 3 dimensions, and then there was this thing that looked like an umbrella. And it was over the 3 dimensions. So I first thought it was a boundary. And I understand that when you're dealing with grids, with grids, power grids, that we have each section of the grid is considered a dimensional space. And the borders of that space is not necessarily something to restrict you, but it's something that you are to pass through, but it requires certain disciplines and that you need to go through, or certain experiences that you need to have in order for you to go to that next place. It's like it reminds me of when a toddler goes into I'm not sure what the next, I guess, puberty. Then they go through and they're experiencing adolescence. You know, there's 3 main development groups development phases. There's your dependency, where everything that you need to survive is tied to someone else, and then there's that independent stage, which is the longest, or actually it's longer than the dependency stage, or rather it's supposed to be, but it's where you learn to do things yourself. And then and that goes all the way into early adulthood, where at adulthood you begin to move towards interdependency, where you don't let go of your independence, but you merge it, you entangle it with interdependence. The reality is there's some things that I'm assigned and I'm responsible to do on my own, but to fulfill my God-given design, I have to learn how to be interdependent with others who are also moving from the independent stage or the simple independent stage into the interdependency stage. So, with all that said, what I believe God was showing me was that we're not restricted to the three-dimensional framework that we are so accustomed to, but rather there is more. There is a umbrella where we can explore beyond the three-dimensional space, and we can realize that we're spirit, we're soul, we're body, and we're very entangled. But that entangled being that we are is both a vessel and a vehicle to explore the other dimensions. All right. So again, hopefully, somebody that is a little bit more versed with us on that.